Raccoon hyphen 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 Formers. What does that spell? Raccoon-Formers, yeah! Raccoon-Formers, the YouTube channel for all of your Transformer needs.
Hello everyone, Raccoon-Formers here, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 7 of Gaming with Raccoon-Formers, and the second part of my double feature for this series. As y'all know, earlier on today, I took a look at a video game based off of the hit TV series Transformers Rescue Bots called Transformers Rescue Bots Disaster Dash in Season 2, Episode 6 of Gaming with Raccoon-Formers. And well, in that video, I promised that in Season 2, Episode 7, I was going to take a look at the other video game based off of Rescue Bots called Transformers Rescue Bots Hero Adventures, and that's exactly what I'll be doing in today's video, like I promised, because I'm a man of my word. It's definitely much more of a small-scale game compared to Disaster Dash, and you'll definitely see what I mean in a bit, but I am definitely excited to take a look at this game regardless. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started by taking a look at the many loading screens for the game. There are 4 different loading screens in Hero Adventures, while Disaster Dash only had 3, but the loading screens in Disaster Dash were all pretty unique, while the loading screens in Hero Adventures all look pretty similar, apart from the last one with a similar design, and you'll definitely see what I mean in a bit. We have this one up here, which is what you'll see before any logos pop up, which is also the first thing that you'll see when you open the game. We have this one right here, which is basically an animated version of the before logos loading screen. We have this one down here, which is the loading screen that you'll see after all the logos, and it will also have the button that will allow you to start the game. And then we have this one down here, which is the most unique, and it's what you'll see before any of the levels actually start, and you'll see why it's unique in a little bit. But anyway, let's go ahead and get started by taking a look at the before logos loading screen. Here we have the before logos loading screen, and it's pretty straightforward if I'm being honest. It basically has the main characters that you're able to use in this game in cool poses together: Heatwave, Chase, Blades, Boulder, Optimus, and Bumblebee, and I definitely like how the dynamic duo of Transformers are in the front of this group. There's this really cool background that basically looks like a blue explosion with blue and white bits all over, which also looks pretty cool in my opinion. And then down here we have some logos. We have the Budge Studios logo, because Budge also made Hero Adventures just like how they made Disaster Dash. We have a Hasbro logo, because obviously Hasbro are the ones who make all sorts of Transformers related stuff. That is until recently. You remember that community post I made talking about how Hasbro isn't making movies anymore, but that's a topic for another time. And then we have the Transformers Rescue Bots logo right down here. All of it looks pretty cool in my opinion. Now, let's go ahead and take a look-see at the animated before logos loading screen. Here we have the before logos loading screen, and it definitely does look a little bit different than the normal before logos loading screen. Let me explain. It has all the characters in a little bit different of poses, and the background is a little bit different. It just has blue and white stripes instead of it looking like a blue explosion. Let me know in the comments which of the 2 versions of the before logos loading screen you like better. And Cody, who narrates the game just like he does in Disaster Dash, says the game's name as all of the characters do their cool poses. Here's what I mean.
Transformers Rescue Bots Hero Adventures.
Wasn't that cool? I definitely think so. Let me know in the comments what you think of this. Anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say about the animated version of the before logos loading screen. Now, let's go ahead and take a look-see at the after logos loading screen. Here we have the after logos loading screen, ladies and gentlemen, and it honestly looks pretty similar to the before logos loading screen, the still version anyway, not the animated version. They once again have the core characters that you're able to use in this game in a different pose than the last 2 loading screens I took a look at, and they also brought back the blue explosion background that they used for the still version of the before logos loading screen, which I'm definitely happy about, because I definitely prefer the blue explosion background when in comparison to the blue and white striped background that was used for the animated version of the before logos loading screen. But that's just me, but I'm definitely glad that they brought it back for the after logos loading screen. And the final 2 details I can pick out here are this Transformers Rescue Bots logo right up here, and this cool green play button right down here, which all looks pretty cool in my opinion. Now, let's go ahead and take a peek-see at the cool levels loading screen that is more unique than the others. Here we have the cool and unique levels loading screen, and you're probably wondering why it's so cool and unique. Well, I'll tell you. You know that iconic shot from pretty much every episode of Rescue Bots where Heatwave, Chase, Blades, and Boulder all come out of the firehouse? Well, Basically, that shot is what's used as the loading screen that transitions you to each level. They just added the bonus of Optimus and Bumblebee coming out of the firehouse as well,
And with a bunch of cool sound effects in the background as well.
It's honestly kind of hard to explain, so I'll just show it to you. Now, isn't that cool? And there aren't really any interesting details to pick out here because it basically is just the exact same shot that's used in pretty much every episode of Rescue Bots.
Just with the added bonus of Optimus and Bumblebee coming out of the firehouse as well, like I said.
So that's pretty much all I have to say about this cool loading screen. Let me know in the comments what you think of it. And I think it's about time to take a look at the levels screen for the game. And just like with Disaster Dash, it also acts as the home screen for the game.
Here we have the levels screen, ladies and gentlemen, and it looks incredibly interesting in my opinion. Basically, the levels screen is just a ginormous map of Griffin Rock, Maine, which is where the series of Rescue Bots takes place, which is a pretty nice touch. And you can see this mountain or volcano in the background with giant rocks flying out of it, which is a pretty nice touch. And then right down here, you have this volcano icon, which is basically a volcano-themed level called Lava in the City. And if you actually tap it, you'll get this from Cody.
Lava in the city.
Basically, he just says the level's name, which is a pretty nice touch. And you also have a bunch of burning houses down here, basically showing what the lava in the city is actually doing to Griffin Rock, which is a pretty nice touch as well. Right up here, you have the settings icon, and just like with Disaster Dash, in order to access the settings, you need to type in a bunch of numbers, which is extremely odd. And then down here, you have this cool control center with this little meteor that basically shows how much more stuff you need to do in the game before you actually complete it. And the main boss for this game is Dr. Morocco, one of the most iconic villains from Rescue Bots, but I'm not going to show any of that because I want that to be a surprise that you all can experience yourself when you play this game. And then right over here, you have Cody Burns himself, who, like I mentioned before, narrates this game, and it's his younger seasons 1 through 3 look instead of his older season 4 look, which is pretty cool. And then you also have this cool line effect that goes across the entire map that basically makes it look like a video screen that shows the entire island, which is a pretty nice touch in my opinion. Now, let's go ahead and head on over and take a look-see at the character selection screen, and that's where I'll actually explain how I'll show you each of the levels. Here we have the character selection screen, ladies and gentlemen, and it also looks pretty interesting in my opinion. We have all the different characters that we're able to use in this game listed in 3 rows. We have Heatwave, Chase, Blades, Boulder, Optimus, and Bumblebee. Super duper cool. And right in the middle of the 2 rows, we have a cool Rescue Bots insignia, which, like I said, looks super cool. And then we have these 2 pedestals down here, which is where the characters that you actually choose for a level go. And just like with Disaster Dash, you only get 2 characters in this game for free. Instead of Boulder and Blades, it's Chase and Blades, and the rest of the characters you have to pay for. But don't worry, I paid for the rest of the characters specifically so I could make my Disaster Dash gaming video and this gaming video that you're watching right now, so you are welcome. That's what these 2 pedestals are for. And then the background here basically looks like an area where you would actually get ready to go on a mission if you're a firefighter, which I guess makes sense because the Rescue Bots' home base is a firehouse, so that's a pretty nice touch in my opinion. And then right up here, we have a home button, which looks pretty simple and is pretty straightforward. Basically, that's what you want to push if you want to exit a level and go back to the level screen, so keep that in mind. Now, let's go ahead and get started with the slideshow of all the characters doing their cool poses that they do when they're chosen, with Cody saying their names all dramatically like
Heatwave, Chase, Boulder, Blades.
Pretty cool, I'm not going to lie. Now it's about time to get started with taking a look at the levels, and you're probably wondering how I'm going to do that. Well, this is how. Basically, in the levels, there are a bunch of different mini-games that you can play for each character. Sometimes there's a robot mode mini-game, and sometimes there's a vehicle mode mini-game. And basically, I'm going to show you one mini-game for each character. I won't be able to show you a robot mode mini-game and a vehicle mode mini-game, because I can't actually control what mode you actually need to use for each minigame, and it would be way too complicated for me to document one minigame for each character's robot mode and one minigame for each character's vehicle mode. And we'll honestly kind of make this sort of like a guessing game for y'all. And guessing games are always fun. So let's go ahead and get started with the minigame for Heatwave. Will it be a robot mode minigame or will it be a vehicle mode minigame? Stay tuned to find out. It's time for the minigame with Heatwave. Feel free to pause the video and guess if you think it'll be a robot mode minigame or a vehicle mode minigame, and press play to check yourself. 3, 2, 1, reveal.
It's a vehicle mode minigame, and it's a pretty straightforward one at that. Basically, you need to use Heatwave's ladder to rescue some humans from a burning building, and this meter up here shows how many humans you need to rescue, so yeah. It's cool how it looks like they slide down the ladder as it actually comes down. I really like that. It looks kind of fun if I'm being honest. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, rescue some humans time. And I like that little meter right there that basically shows where a human is if you're struggling to find one. So, yeah, it's cool. Gotta hurry. This building is going up in smoke. Ooh, yeah. Another one. Another one, and there's a pause button right up there that you can press if you want to actually leave the level and go back to the level screen, so keep that in mind. Anyway, another one, another one, another one. Very cool, very cool. And the last one has been rescued. Heatwave drives off, and the minigame is over. Now let's go ahead and get started with the minigame for Chase. Will it be a robot mode minigame, or will it be a vehicle mode minigame? Stay tuned to find out.
It's time for the minigame with Chase. Feel free to once again pause the video and guess on if you think it'll be a robot mode minigame or a vehicle mode minigame, and press play to check yourself. 3, 2, 1... reveal.
It's a vehicle mode minigame once again, and basically some random human gets inside of Chase, and it's your job to make sure he doesn't run into any obstacles by swiping the screen, and that little exclamation point is what will let you know what lane you need to go to, like that. And this meter up here shows how many more obstacles you need to avoid before the minigame is over, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And what's kind of cool is if you're getting close to running into an obstacle, he'll slow down to help give you time to avoid said obstacle, which is pretty cool. This minigame is quite a rush, if I'm being honest, and there, the minigame is over. Now let's go ahead and get started with the minigame for Boulder. Will it be a robot mode minigame? Will it be a vehicle mode minigame? Stay tuned to find out.
It's time for the minigame with Boulder. Feel free to once again pause the video and guess on if you think it'll be a robot mode minigame or a vehicle mode minigame, and press play to check yourself. 3, 2, 1... reveal.
It's a robot mode minigame, and basically with this minigame you need to use Boulder's shockwaving ability to reactivate these energy conductors, which right now are broken, and you send nanites in to actually re-enable the power conductors. And as you just saw, the first one actually gets done for you, and it updates this little meter up here that shows how many more energy conductors you need to repair. And then you can just do that exact same thing with the rest, and you tap the screen in order to do it, and it shows underneath all of these tiles, as you can see. But sometimes you don't get it. You need to find just the right spot. Not there, not there, right there. The nanites get sent in. Another energy conductor has been repaired, baby. Next one. Ooh, 2 in a row. First try, baby. Over here. Not there, or there, or there, but there. Yeah, that's the stuff. Very cool. One more over here. Ooh, yeah, the nanites go in. The energy conductor has been repaired, baby. And then it shows all the different conductors fully repaired underground. Boulder does this funny wave thing, and we're out. And all of the characters actually do that when you're actually dealing with a robot mode mission, which is kind of funny if I'm being honest. I guess they're really happy with their success. Now, let's go ahead and get started with the minigame for Blades. Will it be a robot mode minigame, or will it be a vehicle mode minigame? Stay tuned to find out.
It's time for the minigame with Blades. Feel free to once again pause the video and guess in if you think it'll be a robot mode minigame or a vehicle mode minigame, and press play to check yourself. 3, 2, 1, Reveal!
It's a vehicle mode mini game, and basically you need to rescue these humans and bring them over to this helipad, but it is kind of funny how Blades is able to actually fly inside of a power plant so easily, and why the heck is there a helipad inside of a power plant? Anyway, I don't know, it's not really important, but right over here is the meter that'll show you how many more humans you need to rescue, and you can honestly see how many humans you need to rescue anyway, so I'm not going to worry about it. Anyway, rescuing time. You just hover over the human, and the human climbs onto his power-up and energize hook. You come over here to the helipad, tap the screen, and you'll lower the human to safety. So, yeah, pretty cool. Another one. Another one. Very cool. You know, the humans should honestly be running when they get rescued, not just standing there, but what do I know? Over here. Another one. Very cool, very cool. One more, baby. Come on over, Grover. And he just flies away. Now let's go ahead and get started with the minigame for Optimus Prime. Man, will it be a robot mode minigame or will it be a vehicle mode minigame? Stay tuned to find out.
It's time for the minigame with Optimus Prime. Feel free to once again pause the video and guess on if you think it'll be a robot mode minigame or a vehicle mode minigame, and press play to check yourself. 3, 2, 1... reveal!
It's a robot mode minigame, and it's honestly exactly how Disaster Dash worked. You run through a map and avoid obstacles, and you collect 3 humans. The only real difference is the fact that you have to duck under obstacles instead of just jumping over obstacles, which is how Disaster Dash worked. And you don't have to worry about lives. And what's kind of cool is when you actually get close to needing to avoid an obstacle, he slows down so that way you have a chance to avoid said obstacle, just like with the chase minigame, which is pretty darn cool. And right up there is the meter that shows how many more humans you need to rescue, and if you accidentally leave a human behind, you still need to go on until you collect and save 3 humans. So, yeah, but there. I have officially collected 3 humans, and I really liked that salute motion he did at the end. It was kind of funny. Now let's go ahead and get started with the mini game for Bumblebee. Will it be a robot mode mini game or will it be a vehicle mode mini game? Stay tuned to find out.
It's time for the mini game with Bumblebee. Feel free to once again pause the video and guess on if you think it'll be a robot mode mini game or a vehicle mode mini game, and press play to check yourself. 3, 2, 1... reveal!
It's a robot mode minigame once again, and basically you need to use this laser cannon to destroy these shark drones, which is pretty satisfying if I'm being honest, and the laser cannon looks pretty cool. And right up there is the meter that shows how many more of these drones you need to destroy before the minigame is over, which is pretty good if I'm being honest. And yeah, that's pretty much it. The minigame is over, he does a fist bumping motion, and we're out. Now it's about time to get started with discussing some extra things about the levels and minigames that I wasn't able to cover in these playthroughs, so let's go ahead and get started with that. The first extra thing I have to say about the levels is the fact that there are 4 total different level types. We already know about the lava and the city level, but there's an earthquake/blackout themed level, a snow level, and a wildfire level. The earthquake and blackout level is called Blackout for the Bots, the snow level is called Avalanche at the Lab, and the wildfire level is called Forest Wildfire, which is pretty simple and I thought you ought to know. The next extra thing you need to know about the levels is the fact that before the minigames actually start, you actually get this little cool looking map that shows the different mini-games that you have the ability to play, and here's an example of one. This is the map that'll come before any time you actually play the lava in the city level, and the map will look different depending on which type of level you play. But I'll leave what the other maps look like as secrets, that way you can experience that yourself when you play this game for yourself. The next extra thing I have to say about the levels is the fact that right before you're actually able to get started with the minigame, you have the ability to open up this transformation page. Basically, if you play a minigame, you have to transform the character to the mode that you need for said minigame, and my goodness, it is so satisfying. Because when you do it, they transform the exact same way they do in the shows, and if I'm being honest, Rescue Bots has some of the the most satisfying transformations ever, so I really am a fan of this. Here's what the transformation screens look like with robot mode and with vehicle mode. Don't it look cool? But I'm not going to show you what the transformations actually look like because it'd be too complicated for me to actually show, and I figured that would be a cool thing to leave for you all to be able to experience yourself when you play this game for yourself. But trust me, it is really satisfying. The next extra thing I have to say about the levels is the fact that when you get to one of the first instances of the blackout for the bots level, that is when you're going to actually need to pay for all the extra characters, because going forward, you're going to need more than 2 characters in a level. And like I mentioned earlier, you only get 2 characters in this game for free, Chase and Blades, so therefore you're going to need to pay for the rest. I thought I'd give you a warning that that's the point where you're going to need to actually pay for the rest of the characters if you intend on finishing the game. And the final extra thing you need to know about the levels is the fact that when you finish the game as a whole, just like with Disaster Dash, you have the ability to continue playing the game. Basically, it just continues to create different mini games for you to play. Just that little meter at the bottom is fully filled, and here's what it looks like when it is fully filled. I really am a fan of this, because just like with Disaster Dash, you have to pay for all the characters that you actually need in order to finish this game, so it's nice that you're able to use these characters forever and ever, instead of the game finishing up and you're unable to use them after. Anyway, that's all I have to say about the game of Hero Adventures. I would go back and show you what the level screen looks like once the game is completed, but as I just mentioned, once you actually complete the game, you're just able to continue playing the game, so there's nothing to show at the level screen. This game is much more small scale when in comparison to Disaster Dash, but it's still a phenomenal game, and if you're a fan of Transformers, and especially if you're a fan of Rescue Bots, you'll love it, and I highly recommend downloading it. I'll leave a link in the description box below. Friends, this pretty much wraps up this gaming video. Thanks for tuning in. Remember to click that big red subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on a future video. And I hope you enjoyed part 2 of this double feature that acts as a grand return to my gaming series. Like I mentioned in my last entry, I am really happy to be jumping back into this series, and I definitely do apologize for taking a multi-year break from this series, and I never intended to do so, and I really hope that this double feature makes up for me taking such a long break. Let me know in the comments if it does. And doing this double feature definitely took a lot out of me, so I definitely am going to take another break from my gaming series, but I'm going to try my very best to make sure it's not another multi-year break, and if it is, I'll try and actually think of something else to make it up to y'all when I eventually decide to get back into that series. But if you'd like me to continue this series, let me know what you'd like me to actually do in this series going forward. Would you like me to review some Transformers Minecraft stuff, either a Minecraft world or a Minecraft mod? Would you like me to review another Transformers board game? Or would you like me to actually review another Transformers video game, or even another Transformers handheld game like I did in the first season? I'm open to any suggestions, so let me know if you have any down in the comments. And well, that's all I have to say. As always, I'm Raccoon-Formers, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.